Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We're starting lesson number 17, which is Al-Amsalul Arabiyyatu, the Arabic proverbs. Like every lesson, before we go through the main lesson, let's review the rules about the lesson, what concepts we're learning in this lesson. So the first one is Ismu Tafdeel. So Ismu Tafdeel is the superlative or a comparative noun. Here are some examples. Al-kasalu akhla min al-asali. The laziness is sweeter than the honey. So again, these examples from the main lesson. But we just try to understand the concept before going through the main lesson. Yakunul muhtawa akbara min mana kalimatiha. So the content, so this is talking about, again this all is about the proverbs, Arabic proverbs. So in a proverb, the content is akbara, is bigger than the meaning of the words. So in a proverb, the message or the meaning of that proverb is more than the literal meaning of the words. So this is what it means. Yara mahbubahu ajmala min kulli shayin. He sees his beloved the most beautiful than everything. Launahu awdahu minna. His color is awdahu, more clear or more brighter than us. So this was a group of examples here. The explanation is ma mana kalimatil aksaru. What is the meaning of the word aksaru? Darasna kalimata kasiran bamanaha. We studied that the word kasirun and its meaning is adaduhu kabirun. That if something is bigger in a number, we call it kasirun, means many. So al-aksaru kalimatun nakuluha indama nuridu an nufaddila baina tarafaini. So we use this word aksaru, means more. We say this word when we want to prefer between the two groups or two parties. When there are two things, we want to make a preference of one of these two, then we use this word that this thing or this quality is more than the other. وَلِذَلِكَ فَإِنَّ إِسْمَهَا إِسْمُ تَفْدِيل. So because of that, its name is called Ismu Tafdeel, the noun of preference or comparative. وَمَا إِسْمُ تَفْدِيل. What is the Ismu Tafdeel? Ismu Tafdeel is kalimatun tadullu ala ishtiraki shayyaini or shakhsaini fi sifatin. So this is the word that indicates the ishtirak or the similarity of two things or two persons fi sifati in some quality or some sifa wa ziyadati ahadihima anil akhiri fiha. So basically this word it indicates the quality of two things or the two persons, and if that sifa is greater than the other ones, then the other one is called Ismu Tafdeel. I mean, if some quality of two things is mentioned and one thing has a higher quality or is comparatively better, then we use this word, which is called Ismu Tafdeel. فَهُوَ يَعْمَلُ الْمُقَارَنَةَ أَوْ تَفْدِيل. And this works for comparison or preference. وَهَلْ هُنَاكَ كَلِمَاتٌ أُخْرَى لَهَا نَفْسُ الْإِسْتِخْدَامِ. Or are there other words for the same purpose, like other than aksaru? Naam, yes. فَهُنَاكَ أَكْبَرُ وَأَشْهَرُ. Akbaru, the greater, ashharu, the more famous, wajmalu, more beautiful, awdahu, more clearer or more clear, wa adra, more knowledgeable, wa ahla, more sweeter, etc. Wa kullaha ala wazni afalu. and they all on the pattern of all these words that I have circled, they are on the pattern of af'alu. So any word that is on the pattern of af'alu is called ismu tafdil. Wa kaifa nasugu ismu tafdil, how we form ismu tafdil. Nusuguhu min as-sifati allati nuridu an nukarina fiha, we form it from the sifa or from the adjective, the one we want to compare in it. For example, min kabirun. So if we are comparing some two things, which one is kabir, then we make it on the pattern of afalu, which is akbaru, the greater or the bigger, the greater. Just like we say Allahu Akbaru, Allah is the greatest. So and we wanna so we are describing the quality of kabir. So to describe the quality of kabir, we will use akbaru. Wamin jamilun, and to describe the quality of beautiful, we will make ismu tafdil as ajmalu. Wamin wadihun, and to describe the wazih, the clear quality of clearness or bright, we form it awdahu, wahakaza, and like this. Wa kaifa yakunu ismu tafdili fil jumlati, and how we and how is ismu tafdil in a sentence. So how ismu tafdil is used in the sentence? Naktubu fil bidayati tarf allazi nuridu an nufazzilahu. So we write in the beginning at-tarf allazi. So we write in the beginning the side, the party, the group that we want to nufazzilahu, that we want to make a preference. Means najaluhu aksara fi hazihi sifati. I mean the one that has a that has more in the sifa. So thing that we wanna make a preference is written at the beginning. وَنَكْتُبُ تَرْفَ الثَّانِي بَعْدَ حَرْفِ الْجَرِّ مِنْ, and the second party or the second one, the where we want to make a preference on is written after min. Masmu tarfal awwali wa asmu tarfisan. What is the first one is called, the first party or the first group is called, and what is second one is called? At-tarful awwalu ismuhu al-mufazdalu. So the first one that we are making a preference is called mufaddalu, and wat-tarfu sani ismu called mufaddalu alayhi, and the second one is called mufaddal alayhi. So here is an example. Al-kasalu ahla min al-asali. The laziness is sweeter than the honey. So that we are so the laziness, this is the quality, or this is the thing that we are comparing here, that it is sweeter than the honey. So al-kasalu is mufaddalun, we're gonna put it before, and so that is the one group. And al-asalu, so we are comparing this with this in the sweetness. So al-asal is the mufaddal alayhi. So this is the mufaddalun, this is mufaddal alayhi, and ahla, this is the quality of the sweetness, and this is ismu tafdil, which is on the pattern of afalu, and then we use min in between. So mean this is preferable than this. This is preferable in its quality than this. Walakinnana ahyanan la nara mufaddila. Sometimes we don't see the mufaddal. Sometimes mufaddal is not in the sentence. Naam, yes, indama yakuna mafhuma min al-kalami, because this is understood from the mafhum, from the statement, from in the sentence. For example, I have here afzalu an tasbira. It is better to be patient. So we don't have the mufaddal here. We have afdalu, which is the ismu tafdil, and we are comparing this in the quality of patience, for the patience, but we don't have mufaddal. We don't have mufaddal here. like what is better than the patience. We don't have mufaddal here. We're just saying that the patience is better, is better, and it is understood that we are talking about the patience in general. نحن نرى اسم تفضيل أحيانا معرفة وأحيانا نكرة. Sometime we see that اسم تفضيل is معرفة and nakira is the question. اسم تفضيل في هذه الحالة عادة نكرة. Normally اسم تفضيل is nakira. Like we see akbaru, ashharu, ajmalu, awdahu, adra, wahla. All these are nakira. Normally is nakira. ولكننا نستخدمه أحيانا معرفة, but sometimes we use it as a معرفة وهذا قليل, and this is very little. وهل اسم التفضيل يكون دائما مع حرف الجر? Now the question is that is it always comes with the حرف الجر من? لا, no. وندرس الآن الحالات الأخرى, and now we study the other condition that is without min. So we use min when we are making a comparison, which is the comparative degree, and for when we make it superlative, then we don't use min. So here are some examples. وَهَذِهِ قِصَّةٌ رُبَّمَا تُؤَدُّ أَشْهَرَ هَذِهِ الْقَصَصِ. And this story may be considered the most famous of these stories. So ashhara is ismu tafdeel. تعالوا نتعرف على بعض من أجمل الأمثال العربية. Come, let us come to know that some of the alabadin, that some of the Arabic proverbs are most beautiful. وَلَعَلَّ أَشْهَرَهَا الْمَثَلُ قَائِلُ. And hopefully the famous of the ashharuha al-masalu, that this is the famous of the proverb al-qailu, that says, again this is from the main lesson, وَمَكَّةُ أَهَمُّ مُدِينَةٍ بِالنِّسْبَةِ لِلْمُسْلِمِينَ. And Mecca is the most important city بالنسبة, with respect to for them, like with regards to Muslims. For the Muslim, the Mecca is the most important city. So the explanation is hal al-kalamatu ashhara, ajmal, ashhara, like all these words, they are ismu tafdeel, naam, yes, wahiya ala wazni afalu, they are on the pattern of afalu. walakinnana la nara harful jarri min badaha. So you don't see harf of jar after these words. Yes, لأنها ليست مقارنة بين طرفين, because they are not comparing the two groups or two parties, two things. ولكنها مقارنة بين أهل مكة, but they are comparing between the أهل Makkah, like here. Here we are talking about that the Makkah is the most important city for the Muslims. So we are talking about Makkah in general here. Ahli Makkah wa kullun nasi wa bainal bazil wal kulli. So we are not comparing as such two things. We are comparing one thing in compared to whole, for the whole of the people of Makkah, or all the people, or some of the people, or walikulli, or some or all of the people. So like in all these examples, we are not comparing as such two things. We are comparing like here we are comparing all the Arabic proverbs, that some of them are most beautiful. So similarly we are comparing here is the most famous of the proverb, and here we are comparing, we are looking for the Makkah as the most beautiful, as the most important city for the Muslims. So we are not comparing any two things here. We are just taking the like we taking something which is the best of the as a whole or as a part of it. وَكَيْفَ نَعْمَلُ هَذَا النَّوْعَ مِنَ التَّفْضِيلِ. And how this kind works in the tafdeel. So nastakhdimu ismu tafdili fi idafatin. So we use ismu tafdil here in with the idafa is mudaf mudaf alayh. Wa yakunu ismu tafdil huwa al mudafu wal mufaddalu alayhi huwa al mudaf alayh. So in this group we don't use min. So what we do, we use the ismu tafdil as a mudaf, and then the mufaddalun alayhi on which we are comparing it, we are making it preferable, is we use it as mudaf alayhi. Like Makkah is important in what? In ahammul madinati, in is in the city. So ahammu is ismu tafdeel, and Madina and is mudaf and is mudaf alayhi, madinatin. So similarly they all are mudaf alayhi. So this is how we use it. So we use it ismu tafdil fi idafatin as mudaf alayhi, wa ismu yakunu ismu tafdili huwa al mudafu. Ismu tafdil becomes mudaf and mufaddalu alayhi huwa mudaf alayhi. It becomes mudaf alayhi. Naramul mufaddal alayhi fil amsilati marifatan fahal huwa hakiza daiman. You see that the mufaddal alayhi is marifa in the example. Is that marifa always? No. Ahyanan wa ahyanan nakira. Sometimes it is marifa and sometimes it is nakira. Walakinnahu yakunu adha, but normally, like in this example, haza ahsanu kitabin, this is the best book. So when we using this mufaddal ilayhi as a nakira, as a singular, then we use it nakira. But when we use mufaddal ilayhi as a plural, then we use it marifa. So in like this is the example, haza ahsanul kutubi, this is the best of the books, or this is the best book. Again the same meaning, but here is the mufaddal alayhi is marifa and here it is nakira. So both ways is possible. ولكننا عندما نرجع إلى الدرس نرى اسم تفضيل أحيانا بدون مفضل إليه. And sometimes we see that in the lesson ismu tafdeel comes without the mufaddal ilayhi. So sometimes it is coming without the mufaddal ilayhi, yes, and wahazi halatu salisatu, and this is the third condition which is coming now. So in this first one we comparing two things, mufaddal and mufaddal ilayhi. So and in the second group we are not comparing two things, so there is no mufaddal, we are just then this becomes mudaf and this is becoming mudaf alayhi. And now in the third condition we don't have the mufaddal ilayhi. So here are some example. Ahlul Makkata adra bi sha'abiha. The people of Makkah, they know very well bi sha'abiha, their valleys or the paths, their paths in the valleys, in the mountains. Humal aksaru marifatan bihazal makani. They are the most knowledgeable of this place. So these are the examples, and we know adra, aksaru, these are the ismu tafdeel. So here is the explanation. Hal kalimatani adra aksaru ismu tafdeel, are these words ismu tafdeel? Naam, yes. Huma ala wazni afalu, yes, they are on the pattern of afalu. Walakinnana biduni mufaddal alayhi, when they are without the mufaddal alayhi, so we don't see anything mudaf alayhi here. Naam, yes. Fanahnu nuridu an natakallama anil adra wal aksari bi sifatin amin, because here we are talking about like here we saying that the people of Makkah, they know very well about their valley, so we are not talking about any specific quality, but we are talking in bi sifatin ammatin, in a generally speaking. So that is why we don't have the mufaddal ilayhi. Humul aksaru marifa. So in this example we see that we have the this marifatan ahyanan la nastakhdimu ismu tafdil min as-sifat al-muqaranati mubasharanati. Sometime we don't use ismu tafdil from the sifa, from the direct sifa, bal nastakhdimu isman aman li tafdili, but we use the ism a general ism for tafdil, for preference, like akbaru, ashaddu, aksaru, summa, like we use ismu tafdil, summa naskuru sifata ba'da zalik mansuba, and then we use the sifa as a mansub. Wa hazihil sifati hiya tamiz. So this is called tamiz sanadrusuha fima ba'd, which we were gonna study after. Like in this example, we don't have that sifa as coming as a mudaf ilayh. So we know that humul aksaru marifatan, they are more knowledgeable of this place. So we know we are looking into ismu tafdil in the terms of knowledge, but that is mansoob. So when it comes as a masdoof, then it's called tamiz, which gonna study after. So here is I think I have an example. Hiya ajmalu khulukan, she is the most beautiful in manners or in character. So khulukan is tamiz, is called tamiz, which we gonna study later. This is what it is, the author is explaining here. So now this is the summary of ismu tafdil. Kalimatun ala wazni afalu, the word on the pattern of afalu, nastakhdimuha lit tafdil, that we use for preference, al muqarana, which is the preference, wasmu tafdil lahu istakhdamatun kasiratun minha, and ismu tafdil has many uses. Among them are like nastakhdimu afalu min indama nuridu an nukarina baina shay'ini, we use ismu tafdil with min when we are comparing two things, when we are comparing that this thing is better than the other, or this person is better than the other in some quality or in something, then we use that ismu tafdil with min. And then nastakhdimuhu mudafan, and sometimes we use ismu tafdil as a mudaf. Indama nuridu an nukarina bayna shay'i wa kullu jinsihi, when we compare between the things and the whole jins, the whole genus of it. So when we're making a broader comparison of something, we are not comparing two things, but we are making that this thing is the best in those things. So we use it as a mudaf. And then the third use is nastakhdimu biduni mufaddal alayhi, we don't use, and in this case the ismu tafdil is mudaf, and then the mufaddal alayhi is mudaf alayhi. But sometimes we don't use mudaf alayhi liyakuna mufaddalu mufaddalan bishakli amin, because the mufaddal is preferable in the bishaklin amin, in the generic form, like we studied in the group number 3. So this is the summary of ismu tafdil. Now ismul maksur. What is ismul maksur? Yakunul muhtawa akbara min mana kalimatiha. So al muhtawa, the content is bigger. Again, this is the same from the same example. So in a proverb, the meaning or the content is bigger than in meaning than the words. So when we talk about a proverb, it has a bigger meaning than the literal meaning of the words. Wa amsalun ukhra la takhdufu ilal nuskhi. And some other proverbs, their purpose is do not make any advice. Their purpose is not to make any advice. Some proverbs, they make some advice, they have the meaning of advice in it, but some proverbs, they don't have the meaning of advice, and we're gonna study in the main lesson. Al-kaslu ahla min al-asli, again same thing, the laziness is sweeter than the honey. This is a proverb. Ahlu makkata adra bi sha'abiha, the people of Makkah, they know very well their valleys. Al-mana anna allazina yaishuna fi makanin hum al-aksaru marifatan bihadha al-makani, the meaning is that the people that they live in a place, they know that better. Humul aksaru marifatan, they are more knowledgeable of the place. Wherever you live, you are more knowledgeable of that place. So this is what it means. Al hubbu ama, the love is blind. So in all this group we see that, like in this one, so this is ismukana, this all, I mean all this group, the word circled, they are marfu. How? So this is ismukana is marfu. Wa amsalun ukhra, so ukhra is the sifa for amsalun, so this should be marfu because this is marfu. Al kaslu ahla, so this is this is mubtada khabar, so khabar should be marfu, this is marfu. Ahlu makkata adra, so again this is khabar, this is marfu. Al mana, so this is mubtada, so this is marfu. Al hubbu ama, so this is mubtada khabar, this should be marfu. So in generally speaking, this whole group, the word circled are marfu, but we don't see the sign of the rafa here. So this is what this ismul maksur is all about. And if we look at this example, fa inna muhtawa hazihil amsali yabdu mutanakizan, and indeed that content of these proverbs, it seems contradictory. So we see that now it is inna, so this ismu inna should be mansub, so muhtawa here is mansub, but we don't see the nasab sign. And number 3, yakunul muhtawa akbara min mana kalimatiha, so the content is bigger in meaning than the meaning of the words. So here mana is ism majroor, but we don't see the jar sign. Yutina mana akhara aksa zalikal mana, it gives us the meaning, another meaning opposite of that meaning. So ala zalik aksa zalika mudaf mudaf, so this is majroor, and then zalikal mana, so mana is badal for zalika, so this should be, this is majroor also. And fahuwa kal ama, and he is like a blind, so kal ama is ka harf of jar, so this is ism majroor. Wakana yuhawilu akalaha, and he tried to eat it, walakin duna jadwa, but he was not able, but was of no avail. So duna jadwa is jarun majroor, so ism majroor, so this should be this is ism majroor. So in other words, this whole group is in the rafa form because they are either mubtada, khabar, or ismu kana, or any sifa. And this one is this example, this one is mansub, and in these example all these words are majroor. The only thing that we don't see the sign for rafa, nasab or jar. So hal kalimatu fi marfuatun or mansubatun or majruratun. So the question is, in the group number 1, are they marfu, mansub or majroor? In this group, the question is, are they marfu, mansub or majroor? We we said that they should be marfu. Marfuatun fahiya wadifatun, because they are marfu because they are the function of mubtada or khabar or khabar or ismu kana or sifa li marfu, or the sifa of the marfu noun. Wa ma alamatul rafi, what is the sign that they are rafa? Nahnu narifu anna alamat al-rafi fi lugat al-arabiyya dammatu mala kalamat al-mufrada. We know that the alamat al-rafi in the Arabic language is damma for the singular words. Wa aina dammatu fi hazihi al-kalamati, where is the damma sign in these words? Hazihi al-kalamatu indama takunu marfu'atu takunu alamat al-rafihi dammatu al-muqaddara. So these words which are marfu, their sign of being marfu is the estimated dhamma. So we can say there is a dhamma, but is invisible dhamma or estimated dhamma here. We don't see or we don't pronunciate. So what is the meaning of ma mana al muqaddara? What is the meaning of the estimation muqaddara? Mawjudatun, that this is present, walakinnana, but la nantikuha wala naktubuha, that this is present but we don't write it or we don't pronunciate because lianna nutkaha sabun, because its pronunciation is difficult. If we put here, try to put here dhamma, muhtawaun, so it is very difficult to pronunciate, so that is why is not written or is not pronunciated, but is there. Limaza lianna kullul kalamati fil amsilati tantahi bil alifi, because all these words they end at the alif, so we see that they all end at the alif. The end is alif. وهل كل الكلمات التي تنتبه في لها نفس القاعدة, are all the words that end with alif is for them the same ruling, for the same rule? Naam, yes, but thamma ismul maksur, and they are called ismul maksur. So ma huwa ismul maksur, what is ismul maksur? Huwa kullu ismin murabin fi nihayatihi alifun asliyatan. So ismul maksur is the morib ism. Morib ism is that has the un in form. Is not mabni, and it should be ism morib, and at the end of it should be alifun asliya, the original alif. Ma mani haza, what does this mean? Mana haza anna, that its meaning is ana. Like if we say ana, we know is mabni, is not morib, so we can't say that this alif is alifun asliya. So ana laysat isman maksuran, this is not ism maksur because is mabni, so this alif is not alif asliya. Similarly, babal fasli, the two doors of the classroom, so here that alif is not asliya, laysat ismun maksurun, because alif alamatu rafi musanna, because this is the sign that this is a musanna, this is a dual, well laysat asliya, and this is not the original alif. So we don't call these two words as the ismul maksur. Ma nafama min haza, what we understand from this? Al ismul maksuru indama yakunu marfuan, that ism maksur when it becomes marfu, takunu alamatul rafi dhammatul muqaddara, then it's the sign is estimated dhamma. Okay, so that was for the group number 1. Now we're talking about group number 2. No, so this is the group number 2. Hal kalimati fi group number kalimatun fi group number 2 ism maksur, is the word in group number 2 ism maksur, which is this one. Muhtawa is ism because it's coming after, so is ism mansub. So the question is it ism maksur? Naam, yes. Hal hiya marfuatun or mansubatun or majruratun, is it marfu, mansub or majrur? We know it is mansub because it's the ismu inna. Mansubatun fahiya fi wadifati ismu inna, because its function is ismu inna. Wama alamatun nasbi, what is the sign of this being nasab? Nahnu darasna anna alamat al-rafi mal ismil maksuri hiya dhammatul muqaddara. We have studied that the sign of being rafa for ism maksur is the dhammatul muqaddara. Washayyu nafsuha indama yakunu mansuban, and the same thing that when it becomes mansub, takunu alamatun nasbi al-fatatul muqaddara. So if when it is a mansub, then we will say that the alamatun nasbi is fatatul muqaddara, is the estimated fatah. So just like rafa, when it is rafa we're gonna say dhammatul muqaddara, when it is mansub we're gonna say fatatul muqaddara. And now this is the group number 3, which is the majroor form, like all is ism majroor. All these words they should be majroor. So now this is about group number 3. Wal kalimatu fi number 3, in group 3, hal hiya ism maksur, are they ism maksur? Naam, yes. Hal hiya marfuatun mansubatun or majruratun, are they marfu, mansub or majruratun fahiya wazifatun, because they have function of ba'da harful jar, they are coming as harful jar, they are coming after harful jar, or ism majrur or mudaf ilayhi or tabi li majrurin, or they follow the majrur. Wama alamatul jarri, what is the sign of jar here? Nahnu darasna anna alamatul rafi ma ism maksur hiya dhammatul muqaddara. We have just studied that the Alamatul Rafi for the Ism Maksoor is Damatul Muqaddara and Alamatul Nasbi is Fatatul Muqaddara. Vashayun Nafsuhu. So similarly we can say that when it is Majroor, the Alamatul Jarri is Kasratul Muqaddara, that it is the Kasratul Muqaddara. Well, Amsila. Now this is another example. فَبَعْضُ الْأَمْثَالِ يَقُولُ لَنَا مَانًا. So some of the proverbs they tell us the meaning. So some proverbs they tell us the meaning. So here it is Manan Asharhu, the explanation of this example. Fil Masalis Sabiki Nara Kalamata Manan. So in this example, in this example, we see that the word Manan Wahiya Manavvanatun, this has a tanween on it. Wa Kalimatu Manan Isum Maksurun, and the kalima mana is ism maksur, wal ismu maksur indama yakunu munawwazan. So this is ism maksur because this has the alif, but wal ismu maksur indama yakunu munawwaz, when it becomes munawwanan, when it has a tanween, nakhziful alifu fi nutuki. So we walakinna la nahzifuha fil kitabati. So when I'm saying manan, so that means that alif is although written but is not pronunciated. So we don't pronunciate alif in speaking, but we nahzifuha, but we don't omit it in writing. We write it but we don't pronunciate it. Wa yakunu haza fi jamil halati rafi nasbi jarr, and this is in all the rafa nasab and jar form. So here are the examples. Haza manan jamilun. This is, so this haza manan jamilun. So this meaning is beautiful. Kala manan jamilan. The manan jamilan, he said a beautiful meaning. Kala sheran bi manan jamilan, he said a poetry with the beautiful meaning. So in other words, we see that this coming as when it this marfu haza manan, this is the badal for haza. So this is marfu, then is still manan. Kala manan jamilan, so this is coming as a maful bihi. This is still manan, and this is bi manan, this is ism majroor and it is still manan. So that is why I say it that it for all rafa nasab jar wa yakunu haza fi jami halati, in all the on all the three states it stays manan, it does not change. Ma nafam min kulli haza. So what is the summary of all this? Huwa kullu ismin murabin akharuhu alifun asliyatun. All the morib noun is a maksur is all the morib noun. It is all the morib noun that has at the end alifun asliyatu, the original alif. Watkunu jamiya alamati irabihi muqaddaratan fahuwa, and all the alamat of the irab are estimated. Fahuwa, and we will say marfoon walamatul rafi damatul muqaddara. When it is marfu, we say it is marfu walamatul rafi damatul muqaddara, because we won't see it, but we will say that it is the estimated dhamma. Or mansubun walamatul nasbi al fatatul muqaddara, or when it is mansub we say alamatul nasbi fatatul muqaddara. Or majrur walamatul jarri al kasratul muqaddara, or when it is majrur we will say that the alamat of jar is the estimated kasra. But indama yakunu munawwanan, but when it is has a tanween, tukhziful alifu min nutki, then alif is not pronunciated. Walakinnana la nakhzifuha min al kitabati, but we don't omit the alif from the writing. So the alif is written in writing but is not pronounced. One last thing is ismul manqus. So this is similar to ismul maksur. Here are some examples. Ar-rami huwa man yatliku sahma. Ar-rami is the archer who throws the arrow. So the rami is the one, yatliku sahma, that shoots the arrow. Al-wataru huwa ma yashudduhu rami. and the string, the arc that has a string, and the string is that the Rami, that he pulls it, or he tightens it, or he pulls it. Shadda yashuddu. So here Rami is mubtada, we see that, so is coming as a it is marfu. So here Rami is the file, so it is marfu. Now take this example, Walmana anna Ramiya la yajidu ma yaf'aluhu bi aklihi, and its meaning is that the Rami does not find that what he should do with his brain, with his mind. So here Ramiya is the ism mansub, and we see that mansub here. Ma hilatul Rami is an qatal wataru. What is the cleverness, hila, what is the cleverness of the archer when the string is broken? That what his smartness, what is his cleverness, what he would do that when the string is broken. So hilatul Rami is the mudaf alayhi. So here it is majroor. So this here we see the same word. Here it is marfu, here it is mansub, and here it is majroor. We don't see the rafa sign, we don't see the jar sign, but we see that it is, when it is mansub, it is has a fatah. Al kalimati fi number 1, this group marfu or mansub or majroor, marfu'atun fi wazifatin, because this function is mubtada or file. It is mubtada here and it is file here, so they are marfu. Ma alamatul rafi, what is the sign of that they are rafa? Nahnu narifu anna alamatul rafi fi lugat al-arabiyya dammatu mal kalimat al-mufrada. We know that the rafa sign in Arabic language is damma for the singular words. Wa aina dammatu fi hazihi al-kalimati, where is the damma sign in these words? Hazihi al-kalimatu indama takunu marfu'atan takunu alamatul rafi dammatul muqaddara. So the same thing like ismun mankus, like we studied for ism maksur, is the same for ism mankus, that these words when they are marfu alamatul rafi, then their rafa sign is dammatul muqaddara, estimated damma, because this is ism mankus. Ma huwa al-ismul mankus, what is ism mankus? Huwa kullu ismin murabin fi nihayatiha ya. So just like ism maksur had the alif at the end, this has they have the ya at the end. So ism mankus is kullu ismin, all the ism, all the nouns, the murab, which is murab noun, fi nihai, that have at the end yaun asliyatun, that have the ya, original ya, gairu mushaddadatin, without the tanween, gairu mushaddadatin. So the important thing is that there should not be a shadda. Ma mana haza, what is the meaning of this? Mana haza anna, that allazi laysat ism mankusan, like if it is mabni, then it is not ism mankus, it has to be ism murab. Fatakhtu ya babil fasli, I opened the 2 doors of the classroom. Laysat ism mankus, so it is, so babai has a ya, but it is not ism mankus because is not the original ya. That noun is omitted, so is not the original ya. So babai is not mankus here. And then az-zaki laysat ism mankus. So this is not, because it has a shadda here. So this is also not ism mankus. Lianna al-ya mushaddadatan, because has a shadda on the ya. So when has a shadda on the ya is not ism mankus. When it is mabni is not ism mankus, has to be murab. And when it is not original ya, then it is not a ism. Then it is not ism mankus. So ma nafa min haza, what we understand from this? Ismul maksuru indama yakunu marfuun, when ism maksur becomes marfu, then alamatul rafi is dammatul muqaddara. Now the group number 2 is ism mankus, is that ism mankus in the group number 2, which is the only one Rami, is that ism mankus? Naam, yes, but fi nihayatiha yaun asliyatun gaira, because it has the original ya, which does not have a tanween. So it does not have a tanween and it fulfills the condition of ism manqus. So this is ism manqus. Hal hiya marfu'atun mansubatun majrur. Is that marfu, mansub or majrur? We know that it is mansub because it's following by anna, ismu anna, so it is mansub. So it is mansubatun fahiya fi wazifati ismu anna because this is on the function of ismu anna. So this is mansub. Wa ma alamatun nasbi. What is the alamat of nasab? Alamatun nasbu huna, it is alamatun nasbi here, it is al fatatu zahira, is the fatah here. So for there is no, we won't say that alamatun nasbi is fatatul muqaddara. This is not an estimated fatah, it is fatatul zahira, it is the apparent fatah. We see that sign there. Wal kalimatu fi 3 hal hiya ism manqus. Now the group number 3 is they all is only one is majrur because it's mudaf alayh. Hal hiya ism manqus, is that ism manqus? Naam, yes. Wa fi nihayatiha yaun asliyatun ghayru mushaddadatin because it is at the end it is ya of original ya which is not does not have a tanween. Hal hiya marfu'atun or mansubatun or majruratun. Is that marfu, mansub or majrur? It is majruratun because this is mudaf alayh. Wa ma alamatul jarri, what is the sign that it is majrur? Drasna anna alamatul rafil ismil maksur hiya dammatul muqaddara. We have studied that when it is rafa, the alamat, the sign of it is dammatul muqaddara, and when alamatul nasbi, when it is mansub, the alamat is, the sign is fatatul zahira, that it is the zahira, it is apparent fatah, there is the fatah there. But when it is jarru mislu rafin, so jar is the same as the, when it is rafa, that it is al kasratul muqaddaratu. Alamatul jarri ism maksur, when it is ism maksur, when it is majrur, then it is al kasratul muqaddaratu. So that explains rafa nasab jar. Now this is another situation here. Falan tajida hamiyan minni. So you will not find any protector from me, hamiyan. Walaysa hunaka hamin yamna'il asada anhu. And there is no protector that will prevent the lion from him, al asad. So again this is from the lesson, but we see that falan tajida hamiyan, this is mansub because this is maful bihi, and hunaka falaysa hunaka hamin yamnaul asadu anhu. So this is coming as a marfu here, hamin. Asharhu, explanation. Fi amsilati sabqat nara kalimatan mankusatan, that we say that the both are mankus, they have a ism mankus. Wa fi amsilat sabqat nara kalimatan mankusatan wa hiya munawwanatun, and it has a tanween. Wal ism mankus indama yakunu munawwanatun nakhzafu al ya'u fi nutkin. So when ism mankus has a tanween, then we omit ya fi nutkin wa fil kitabati. So in this example we omit ya in the writing and in the speaking. Wa yakunu hadha fi halati rafi wal jarri, and this is in the case of rafa and jar. Fa huwa an hamin natakallamu an hamin lil biladi. So when we say that he is the protector, natakallamu, or when we say natakallamu an hamin lil biladi, will speak to the protector of the countries. So an hamin is a majrur, huwa hamun is marfu. So but it is all coming as a with the kasra because this is munawwanatun. So then ism manqus has a tanween on it. In the case of marfu, so here it is marfu, it is khabar, and this is ism majrur. So this is the rafa form, this is the jar form. So in both cases it is written as hamin. So because in both cases when it is marfu or majroor, ya is omitted and is omitted in writing and is also not pronunciated. So is hamin for both cases. Walakinna in the nasbi nantikul ya, but when it is mansoob with the ya is written like hamiyan wa naktubuha, and we write it and then we also pronunciate lianna alamatun nasbi zahira, because the alamatun nasbi is zahira here. Kana rajulu hamiyan li baitihi, the man was a protector for his house. So here we say hamiyan. So we see that fatha sign there. Maza nafam min kulli haza. So what we understand from all this, ism mankus huwa kullu ismin morabin akhiruhu yaun asliyatun ghayru mushaddadatin. So this is all ism morab is, ism mankus is all the ism which is morab and has a ya at the end, original ya, ghayru mushaddadatin, which should not be, we shouldn't have tanween. So if this is the case, then وَبَعْضُ عَلَامَاتِ إِعْرَابِهِ مُقَدَّرَةً, and some of the signs are muqaddar. So when this is the case, marfoon walamatul rafi damatul muqaddara. So when we have ism mankus that has the ya at the end and has no shadda and is ism morab, then marfu form is damatul muqaddara, majroor form is kasratul muqaddara, but when it is mansoob takunu lamatul nasbi fatatul zahira, then it is the fatatul zahira. But when it has a tanween, so this was the case for the tanween, when it has a tanween munawwatun nakhziful ya fi nutqil wal kitabati. So when it is when it has a tanween, then ya is omitted in writing and in speaking, illa fi nasbi, except that it is a nasab form when we write it and we speak, we say it, like for this case hamiyan. So rafa nasab it is hamin, but it is when it is mansoob it is hamiyan. So this is what it says. I will stop here, and then from next time we will do the rest of the topics of this lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.